Morning everybody, welcome back to Tarps Off. I'm going to do the review for the February 26th, 27th NHL Games. So we're going to start off with New Jersey and San Jose. So in the first period, Nico Sturm scores for the Sharks from Alexander Barabanov at 18-17 the first. Second period, Jesper Bratt scores from Timo Meier and Nico Hischier at 3:29. 4:06, Jack Hughes scores unassisted. Kevin Ball would score again for the Devils at 13:08 of the second from Hischier and Hughes, so all Devils in the second. Third period, Colin Miller scores from Hischier and Meier at 2:41. 5:01, Brendan Smith scores from Andre Palat and Chris Cherney. Dawson Mercer would score at 6:57 from Jack Hughes and John Marino. Hischier would score from Brett and Siegenthaler at 7:57. Then at 12:33, Justin Bailey scores from Brian Carpenter and Henry Thrun for the Sharks. The Devils take that one 7-2 in regulation, obviously. Dallas and Colorado, it's about the Central Division foes. First period at 1 minute, Logan Stankoven scores from Wyatt Johnson and Jason Robertson. Kiviranta would score against his former team at 2:08 from Cogliano and Taves. Rantanen would score from McKinnon at 5:58. Second period, Cogliano would score from Wagner at 7:09. At 7:58, McKinnon would score from Lehkonen and McCarr. And then Lehkonen would score from Druin and Rantanen on the power play at 14:15. Third period, there's no scoring. Avs take it 5-1. Preds and Sens. The first period, McCarron scores for the Predators at 3:23 from Rowan Josi and Cole Smith. Josi would score one of his own at 5:44 from Nyquist and Novak on the power play. Bathroom would score from Sanderson and Stützle on the power play at 18:58. Second period, Josi would score from Nyquist and McDonough at 18:31. And then the third at 13:12, Nyquist would score from Forsberg and O'Reilly to give the Predators the 4-1 win in that one. Jets and Blues. The first period, Sean Monahan scores for the Jets at 8:53 from Nikolai Ehlers and Josh Morrissey. Dylan would score at 10:20 from Scheifele. Buchnevich would then score from Scandella and Thomas at 10:50. Kyle Connor would score at 15:33 from Josh Morrissey. Saad would score at 9:03 unassisted of the second period. And then the third period, Iafallo would score from Ehlers and Monahan at 10:13. The Jets take that one 4-2. Alright, Hurricanes and Wild. So in the first period, Connor Dewar scores for the Wild at 10:10 from Chisholm and Hartman. Stahl would score from Martinic and Slavin at 15:26. In 1939, Brodin would score from Duhaime and Hartman to give the Wild a 2-1 lead going into the second. Second period, 9:35, Svechnikov scores from Jarvis and Stahl. 11 minutes, Nosen scores from Drury and Teravainen. And the Canes take that one 3-2. Alright, Tampa Bay and Philadelphia. In the first period, Bobby Brink scores for the Flyers from Morgan Frost and Mark Stahl at 2:22. Second period, Nicholas Paul ties it from Brandon Hagel at 4:35. Third period, Forrester scores from Morgan Frost at 54 seconds. At 3:08, Sanheim scores from Noah Cates and Garner Hathaway. 6:55, Sean Walker scores from Joel Farabee and Nick Seeler. Stamkos would add another one for the Lightning at 14:34 from Point and Kucherov. Then Noah Cates would score from Poling into the empty net at 15:22. And then York would score into the empty net from Sanheim at 17:41. The Flyers take that one 6-2 for the Lightning. Alright, Red Wings and Capitals. This was a high scoring game. The first period, Gostis Bear opens up the scoring for the Wings at 5:45 from Joe Veleno and David Perron. Lucas Raymond scored from JT Compher at 16:20. Second period, Latvia would score from Ovechkin and Mantha at 2:09. Veleno would score at 4:44 from David Perron. Gostis Bear would score again at 9:01 from Lucas Raymond. Scarbosa would score from Carlson at 16:38. Compher would score, his first at least. At 1947 from Andrew Cobb and Moritz Sider shorthanded. Robbie Fabry would score in the third period at 4:31 from Patrick Kane and Daniel Sprung on the power play. Patrick would score unassisted on the power play at 7:09 for the Capitals. DeBrincat would score from Larkin and Kane at 11:49 of the third. And at 14:11, Larkin would score from Raymond and Mata. The Red Wings take that one 8-3 with the Capitals. Sabres and Panthers. The first period, Dylan Cousins scores from Jordan Grubauer and Owen Power on the power play at 9:25. Sam Bennett would score from Nick Cousins and Brandon Montour at 12:54. 15:36, Kachuk would score from Berhage and Montour on the power play. Second period, there's no scoring. Third period, Montour would score from Kachuk and Reinhardt on the power play at 9:41. And then Thompson would score from Dowling and Tuck at 12:44. The Panthers took that one 3-2 in regulation. Alright, Habs and Coyotes. So in the first period, Yoel Armia scores from Newhook and Josh Waugh at 7:52. Second period, Harris scores unassisted at 4:52. Kerfoot would score from JJ Moser and Nick Schmaltz at 7:42. Third period, Tanner Pearson, former Canuck, would score from Jordan Harris and Jake Evans at 5:14. Bukestad would score from Matthias Michelli and Michael Kalsoring at 14:23. And Suzuki would score from Armia and Evans into the empty net at 17:57 or 19:57. The Habs take it 4-2. Alright, this one. Anyways, yeah, so Vancouver and Pittsburgh. First period at 10:23, Niels Höglander scores from Tyler Myers and Ilya Mikheyev. So Mikheyev getting a point finally. Just needs the goals though, he's not scoring enough. The 17:43, Bach Besser scores from JT Miller and Philip Hronek on the power play. Beautiful shot by Besser. Second period, Raquel scores from Crosby at 2:13. At 9:36, Raquel scores from Crosby and Malkin on the power play. There was a 5-on-3 to work on getting those down. We all remember Minnesota, right? At 10:05, JT Miller would decide he didn't like the tie score. He would go down on a break, shorthanded from Elias Pettersson and Thatcher Demko shorthanded and score beauty. JT Miller is on a tear right now. It's like he is the best player on the Canucks right now. So props out to him. Third period, Lars Eller unfortunately ties it up from 9:45 at 9:45 from Pustin and Letang. And then in overtime, Carlson would score from Lars Eller and Riley Smith at 1:42. Penguins take it 4-3. And yeah, they take that one 4-3 in overtime. I'm not going to spend too much time on that, but whatever. Alright, the other two games of teams that I like. Calgary and LA. I'm going to start off with this one. So in the first period, there's no scoring. Second period at 12:08, Danault scores from Fiala and Doughty. Mangiapane would then score at 12:56 from Hanifin and Markstrom. Coleman would score from Huberdeau and Tanev at 13:52. Fiala would then score at 18:54 from Kopitar and Byfield. Third period at 12:09. Sharangovich would score from Hunt and Pelletier. And then at 18:46, Backlund would score from Tanev into the empty net. And then yesterday, which would have been the 27th, or 28th, Tanev did get traded to the Dallas Stars in a three-way deal with the New Jersey Devils. So he's no longer a Calgary Flame, but that was his last point as a Flame there. Moving on to Vegas and Toronto. Wish he could have come back to Vancouver though, but that's the NHL, I guess. Vegas and Toronto. So in the first period, Barbashev scores at 9:11 from Mario and Theodore. Riley would score at 12:20 from Theodore and Rempel. Tyler Bertuzzi would then score from Jake McCabe and William Nylander at 17:45. Carlson would score from Marchessault at 19:09. Marchessault would then score at 10:50 from Carlson. That's the third, we're in the third period. Reeves would score from Holmberg at 14:35 of the third. Marchessault would score his second from Pietrangelo into the empty net at 18:23. Then at 19:29, Nick Waugh would score from Theodore and McNabb. The Vegas Golden Knights take that 162. That's it for the 27th. I will see you all for the review of the 28th in a couple seconds. Guys, it's only 2 games. So like, subscribe if you liked it, and I'll see you guys next time. Adios.